Hey guys, Bill Feggins at Bill Feggins Academy. Please click on the link in the description. We're going to get started and subscribe to our YouTube page so you guys can get more videos like this. Hey Scott, how you doing? We guys are going to get ready, and Scott's going to kick it off for you guys. Thank you guys for joining this webinar today. Thank you.
Hey, Bill, good morning. Can you hear me okay? I think my internet is acting funky right now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Well, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, depending on where you're at in the country. Great to be here with you all. My name is Scott Grody. I am the RVP or wholesaler here to support y'all from Transamerica. It's great to be on with you guys today, and I'm super excited to share with you all what we have going on with our brand new IUL Express product that we launched just a couple weeks ago. Before I dive into that, though, I always think it's important to have, contacts from the carrier, right? For you guys out there in the field, you need to have somebody that you can get to quickly and get quick answers. So in the chat, I'm going to put my contact information as well as my two internal partners that I work with. They come out of our Denver office, Chris and Jason. Chris and Jason have both been with the company for nearly 5 years and are kind of an extension of me. So if you guys need a quick answer and some help on, product questions, application questions, quoting, website stuff, whatever it is, maybe you don't know where to start, you can always start with them and give me a call as well. So I'll put that in the chat for you guys. In addition, the first two numbers you'll see in the chat there, you'll see Express Product Support. That's going to be the support phone number for the product we're going to discuss today. Okay, so if you need any help with that application, specifically you're having some trouble with a signature process or something like that, you can always reach them at that 800 number. Make sure you save that number, okay, if you're submitting these Express policy applications. The other number I put in there is the sales desk number. So the sales desk is our internal sales office in Denver. They are available 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Those guys are a wealth of knowledge. They're kind of a dumping ground, so they know a lot more about random stuff than even I do. If you have any questions and need some support, definitely reach out to them. Transamerica's been around a long, long time, right? Well over 100 years. I think we're going on 120 years. We have a full product portfolio for you guys for life insurance. We've got, term insurance with and without living benefits. We've got multiple index universal life options. We have traditional whole life, and we have final expense offerings, a number of final expense offerings. The exciting stuff we have going on lately has been our Express issue, final expense, and IUL. They're on the same app platform, which we'll discuss today. It's lightning fast, guys. It's probably one of the easiest applications and cleanest interfaces that you guys have available to you. On the final expense product, it really, it's probably less than a 10-minute application on average. Maybe the first time you write an app, it might take you about 10 minutes. After that, you'll fly through it in probably about 8 minutes just to complete it start to finish. This IUL Express that we're going to talk about today is it's probably closer to a 12 or 15-minute application process. And the reason for that is with an IUL, of course, you have to do an illustration. So it just adds a little bit of time with that. But without further ado, if you guys have any questions throughout, or if you've already seen this, feel free to plug questions into the chat or cut me off and we can discuss along the way. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Kick this thing off. Get that out of the way. Cool. So here we are. So the product is called the Financial Foundation IUL II Express. That's a lot, right? We call it FFIUL Express, FF Express. It is on a new platform. And again, I'll show you where to access that here in a little bit. It's 100% instant decision. Okay. There's no back and forth with new business. There is no back and forth with underwriting, no amendments, no going back and asking for more information. You either get approved in the app or you don't, right? So there's really a couple of outcomes. Either the client gets approved in the application, you move forward, or you get a hard decline or a soft decline. We'll talk about what a hard decline and a soft decline is here in a little bit. So Transamerica, right? I had mentioned earlier we've been around for a long time. We've been going through a huge transformation. I've been with the company for about 9 years, and I'd say we've made significant improvements and invested heavily in being a top carrier again. Our CEO came out a few years ago and said there's a huge opportunity for life insurance with Transamerica. We do annuities, mutual funds, and retirement plans. But I'll tell you, we've had more emphasis on winning again in life insurance. It's pretty cool to see from the inside out, but I hope, you guys are starting to feel that now with, the service. We brought back over 1,100 positions to be Transamerica employees, which we outsourced years ago. So he did that. Our digital experience, our platforms, our technology, it's a slow moving process because it's a massive, overhaul that's going on. But, digitally, a lot of stuff is being upgraded and improved. And then, product innovations, we've come out with two products now within a year. And we're going to continue to do that with a term coming out, simplified issue term beginning of next year as well. Now, where the market's going, right? We believe that the market's growing very quickly in the simplified issue IUL space. It's already a very large percentage of policies being sold there, but we believe it's going to continue to go up. Look, clients want their policies and they want them fast. They don't want to do paramed exams. They don't want to send in an APS. They want to do an application, pay their premium, and have their insurance, right? They want it quick and easy, and that's what we're aiming to deliver. So as you're meeting with more and more clients, you'll see and you'll feel that too out there in the field that this is what they're looking for. Now, a couple of highlights, right? So this product I mentioned earlier is 100% instant decision, right? No amendments, no back and forth with new business. It's all done in the app. It's less than a 15-minute application, and we can go up to $500,000 of coverage, which is different than most other carriers out there for IUL-E. If you're familiar at all, there's a lot of carriers that are at about 350 for the maximum coverage, or maybe 400. Not many are going up to $500,000 of coverage, instant issue, simplified issue like we are. The minimum face amount is 50,000, right? So we can go as low as 50 and we can go up to 500,000. Issue ages are 18 to 60 to go up to 500,000. And then age 61 to 70, we can go up to 300,000. So that's kind of the limitations there. I do want to mention we will be launching and juveniles rather will have the ability to get policies with this product coming in a few weeks. We're shooting for the 16th, but as you know how carriers work and how Transamerica works with some of these launch dates, I'm afraid to share that with you because sometimes things get delayed for various reasons. So we're shooting for the 16th, but as soon as juveniles are available, there will be a bunch of communication going out to you guys via email from our marketing team to let you know. For now, day one, 18 years old to age 60 can do 500,000. Age 61 to 70 can do 300,000. Who's eligible, right? U.S. citizen or green card holder. We can't do 1035 exchanges, and it's not going to be available in New York, I don't think at all. I just don't think they'll approve a product like this. California, however, we did file there a while ago. We should be getting California available here soon. And again, as soon as it is available, we will certainly be sending out communication for California to let you guys know that that's available. Risk class is available, right? It's going to be similar to our FE Express product. Select non-tobacco or select tobacco. Very simple. Select non-tobacco or select tobacco. Death benefit options. This is where we start to differentiate ourselves, right? So a lot of carriers who do IUL Express policies have a very structured guardrail type of policy, meaning you can't customize things very well. And for us, we basically took our fully underwritten IUL product, which has been the number one selling IUL on the market for I think about 3 years or something crazy. And we turned it into simplified issue underwriting and lightning speed application. So we're getting the benefits of a real product, a real IUL product, with the capabilities of customizing illustrations to fit your client's needs instead of just fitting them into standard, illustration or product that unfortunately, a lot of other carriers are doing with IUL. So death benefit option, you can do level increasing or graded. to start out. The client can always change that anytime throughout the life of their policy. Level and increasing, pretty self-explanatory there, of course. The graded option is going to be unique, though. The graded option, you might think of it like final expense, but it's not a graded death benefit like final expense. What it is it starts out as an increasing death benefit option. And then at age 70, it actually will level off. Okay, so when it levels off, the reason for that is it reduces the cost of COIs within the policy, and it's not going to drain the cash value. And you may have heard clients say, their fear is that these policies will implode later on. They'll have to put money into it to keep it going. This graded death benefit option can help kind of plan against that, right? The client doesn't have to call in years later and remember to change it from increasing to level. It will automatically do it for them when the time comes. So again, it increases to age 70, and then it turns to a level death benefit automatically for them. And that should help them kind of secure that policy and have it run out the rest of the life of the policy. Living benefits available, right? So no extra cost for these. Critical and chronic illness and terminal illness just built into it. And then the funeral planning concierge rider. This is something I don't think we talk about enough, but the funeral planning concierge rider is a third-party company we partnered with called Everest. Everest does an amazing job. Things I like about them, they'll advance up to $25,000 of death benefit upon claim, so they can get that beneficiary paid something quickly. They have an amazing online platform where the client, while they're living, can actually go in and fill out, the will, living will, trust, other financial documents that are housed in that portal for them. They have access to at no extra cost. And then the other thing I really like about Everest is they will actually save the beneficiary money upon claim. So say, unfortunately the client passes away, the beneficiary calls, they have a little flyer that they got from the client with the Everest phone number. They call Everest. Everest will help walk them through the claims process with Transamerica. And then they'll actually negotiate down prices on the beneficiary's behalf for the funeral costs. So they'll help them. Okay, you want this type of casket, you want these flowers and whatnot. So they'll reach out to all the funeral homes in that beneficiary's area, and they'll say, hey, give me your best offer because I'm calling the next funeral home and they're going to give me their best offer. So give me your bottom dollar, and they'll actually negotiate down prices for the beneficiary to plan that funeral. That's going to help save them sometimes thousands of dollars in their time of need when they're planning a funeral. So I love Everest. Again, I think it's something that we could lean on a little bit more, but it's available for, on this product for face amounts of 250,000 or more. Unfortunately, if the death benefit's less than 250,000, they will not get access to that Everest rider. Okay. Index is available. Again, this is something where I think we differentiate ourselves from other IULs of the market. We default to what we call the balanced uncapped index account. This is one I'm super excited about. I'll talk about it more here in a little bit, but just know that we have a number of different indexes and you can mix and match them along the way for the client as well. So where do you access this? This is through your agent portal, right? You have to be appointed with Transamerica. You would log into your agent portal secure.transamerica.com. From there, you see that this box here that's kind of highlighted in yellow. It says FE Express and FFIUL II Express online application. You're going to click that launch button. The next page is going to show up like this. Any of your recently submitted cases will show up here. In the top right, you can either start a new application or get a quote for this product. The pre-qualification tool, just so you know, the pre-qualification tool is going to be just for the FE Express, the final expense product. Okay. The pre-qualification is not going to be available for the IUL. So for the IUL, the Index Universal Life Policy, start application or get a quote. We're going to show you what get a quote looks like. This is the input page for the quote tool. Okay. So what I want to point out here is this is kind of where we differentiate ourselves. Our interface is much different than a lot of other carriers. And what I mean by that is you have three one-click easy solves. Three one-click easy solves. Very simple. You can do a target solve, right? Target premium. You can do a maximize protection solve, which is going to be a little bit more of a minimal fund, right, to endow. And then you can do a maximize cash value. That's going to be, max funding the policy to build up cash value as quickly as possible. So you have three one-click easy solves. You can either solve for your face amount or your premium, and then you have this little slide bar that you can move back and forth as well. You can customize further. So if you click this customize button down here, you can change, your premium mode from monthly to annual. You can decide if the client wants to stop paying premiums at a certain age. So maybe they want to pay to age 65 and stop paying premiums. You want to see how that illustrates. And then of course you can change, your death benefit options down here from, level to increasing. And then lastly, your premium allocation. So this is going to be the index account I mentioned, right? We default to that balanced uncapped index account. And again, we'll talk about it here in a second. You can see it illustrates at 7.25%. Now, if we were to, in this page here, if we were to hit this customize button for premium allocation, this page would pop up for you and you'll see a list of all the indexes available, right? So I mentioned, there's a number of them that you can choose from as long as you have 100% over here, matched up. So you can do 50% here, 50% here. As long as you have it equal 100%, you're good to go. We again default to that balanced uncapped index account. This is the one I'm super excited about. And the reason for it is, anytime you see uncapped index account, a lot of times there's going to be some sort of volatility control. So you should ask, what is that index actually made up of, right? Is it heavily weighted in bonds? Or are they putting a lot in equities, right? For us, we are doing at least two-thirds weighted in equities. At least two-thirds weighted in equities gives you more upside potential, right? So the S&P 500 and the Nikkei 225 is going to be the equities. The Fidelity SMID, that's going to be more of a volatility control, right? So you're going to get more upside potential than just about any other uncapped index account on the market that I'm aware of. The 20-year look back on that index is actually running at over 10%. So the 20-year look back, if you took this index and plugged it into the markets over the last 20 years, it would have averaged over 10% return. We illustrate again 7.25%. So some of the highest in the industry. It has a floor, and all of our indexes have a floor of 75 basis points. And this one happens to have a participation rate of 113%. So I showed you what the input page was, where you're adjusting your, target solve, minimum and maximum solves, all the customization that you can do on the right-hand side of the screen, which you'll see them next to each other here in a bit, but this is what the output page is going to look like. The cool thing is, as you adjust your target solve, maybe you switch from target to max cash value, it's going to adjust real time for you on this chart. So you'll see very quickly what the cash value looks like at certain ages, and you can have that discussion with the client to say, and find out what illustration, what, design, if you will, makes the most sense for them. From here, you get a quick glimpse of what it looks like, but if you want to download the full illustration, you can always go up here and click that download full illustration. This little window will pop up. You can plug a client's name in here. You don't have to, but you put a client's name in, hit generate full illustration, and within seconds, you'll get a PDF of that full illustration with your name and your contact information on it, as well as a client's name. It looks real professional. You can send that to the client so they can have that for their records, and you can take a deeper dive into that full illustration. It looks amazing, and a lot of agents use that actually for their sales presentation. So this product can be sold virtually or in person. Either way is totally fine with us. Just make sure whatever you're doing, you're choosing the appropriate one, right? Virtual, even if you're seeing the client virtually, it's still a virtual sale, right? In person means they're in the same room as you. That's it. So just make sure there's a lot of anti-fraud going on with this app. It's very smart. So just make sure if it's in person, it's in person. If it's virtual, it's virtual. The app flow. How does this flow, right? So I mentioned it's a 15-minute application. The structure is going to be very similar to what we have for our FE Express, in that part one is going to be, filling out the client's information, personal information, name, date of birth, social security number, address, all that stuff. Health information, very standard stuff here, and then lifestyle questions, right? So you're going to part one do those three sections, and then you're going to pause and do a signature process. After the signature process, you lock in coverage, then you put in beneficiary and banking info and sign again, and it's done. So, again, we do the part one, client information, health information, person, lifestyle information, and then you sign. If it's in person, very simple. You just turn the computer over to them, they click in the blue box, and that's their signature. If you're doing a virtual, you can send it to them via email or a text message. I would recommend because again, for anti-fraud, we're making sure that it's their proper phone number, right? So I would verify that that is their phone that they're using. It's registered to them. If they recently got a new phone or that phone is not theirs, I would recommend going the email route because if we cannot validate the client through their phone for the signature process, they'll have to call in to get validated. To avoid that, again, you can just go to the email. We'll send an email to them. In the email is a 6-digit PIN. They just read that back to you. You put it into the app on your end and move forward. All right, so this is what that virtual signature process looks like, right? So you're choosing text message or email, right? So they'll get that text message in this scenario. It looks like this. There's a link in here. If they click on this link, this is just if they want to view their policy documents. So again, we're going through the signature process. If they click this link to view their documents, they have to put in their date of birth and last four of their social. Now, they don't have to do this step. And what I mean by that is if they just scroll down in this text message, all you need to move forward is that 6-digit PIN code. Okay. So they'll get their text message or email. Just have them read back that 6-digit PIN code. You read the script and put that 6-digit PIN code into the app on your end. And then you're gonna click and sign for the client. From there, you do your agent commission disclosure, and then you, as the agent, you click the blue box to sign the app. And then within a couple seconds, you get the approval, right? Congratulations, you've been approved, right? Again, we put in personal information for the client, answer the health and lifestyle questions. The client signs it, you sign it, and then we get the approval. This is they're medically approved already. From here, you're going to lock in coverage. Again, this is the input section here on the left, right, for the illustration. You're going to choose the solve they want, the face amount they want. You're going to customize it if you want to do that. Everything on the right will update real time. And then from here, you're going to lock in coverage. And the next step, actually, before we go to the next step, I mentioned before hard declines and soft declines. If they didn't get approved, right, then we have a hard decline, which would be like, sorry, you're not approved for any of our IUL products. Okay. If it's a soft decline, it's I'm sorry, you're not approved for this Express product, but we think you might qualify for the fully underwritten FFIUL. So if they want to go that route, they get a soft decline and they want to, try to, submit an app with the traditional fully underwritten IUL. Unfortunately, they got to go, back through iPipeline and do a new application that way. You can't just transfer the data, unfortunately, but you'll get a soft decline or a hard decline and then proceed from there. Now, if they did get approved and you want to move forward, part two, right? Very simple. We're putting in beneficiary and banking information. Again, pretty standard stuff here. You're going to assign benefits, save the payment information, and then you have one more kind of signature ceremony at the end, right? We had one in the middle of the app for the approval, medical approval. Now we have one at the end of the app after you put in the beneficiary and banking info, and that's to complete everything and submit the app for payment. So agent signs it, you're going to sign it first, and then the client's going to sign it, again, via text message. If they're virtual, they read back that 6-digit PIN, you input it and hit agree and sign. The next page it'll take you to is going to be what it looks like here. Your application is complete. And I recommend this. You have this download PDF button. This is a really cool, nice document that you can send to the client right away, so they have something tangible. They know they got something from Transamerica. It's got our letterhead on it. It outlines all of the things that they just signed up for. So I always recommend, when you get to this page, just download that PDF. and email it to them right away. Hey, just want to follow up for a meeting. Congratulations, you've been approved. This is, what you're signing up for, and they can have that for their records. All right, so the client can actually go through, I want to show you here. The client can actually go through a dashboard and actually update things like throughout the policy. So let's say they get their policy and they've been paying on it for 5 years and now they don't want to pay for it, but their daughter wants to take over the payments for the policy. They can go through their client dashboard, transamerica.com. They can log in and update banking information in there and have their daughter be the payer for that policy. They don't even have to get you guys involved. All they have to do is just, again, go through their transamerica.com portal and update through there. So it takes a little bit of heavy lifting off of your guys' shoulders in the future, so you don't have to, keep up and manage these policies along the way. Here's a little uh, QR code you guys can capture real quick if you have your phones handy. And then what I want to do too is actually what I'll do, Bill, I'll send out an email here after this and I'll share with you guys all the links, okay, for the
Okay.
for this product. Before I do that though, I figured I'd give you guys a quick run through of this cool kind of demo so you can see. I mean, that was the compliance approved presentation. But I want to give you a quick run through of kind of what it looks like from your guys' dashboard, from your guys' perspective, and you can get a feel for how the app flow really looks. So again, if you go through secure.transamerica.com, you click on FE Express or FFIUL II Express tile, it's going to bring you here. Again, this is like an agent wrote all these policies recently. In the top right, you can start an application or get a quote. It's going to pre-fill a lot of this stuff. I just got to click around here. So, you have your product, the IUL-2, you put your gender, date of birth, you're going to choose your risk class, tobacco or non-tobacco, hit continue. Now we're going to put in the what we want for the illustration, right? So it defaults to target. Again, if we click on the maximize protection, again, that's a lower premium for the client to endow. If we click on maximize protection, you saw it automatically updated on the chart over here on the right, the graph. So you can see if I click maximize cash value, that's going to be, maximum funding for cash accumulation. It automatically updated on the right-hand side for you. You can see the premium adjusts. So, what I recommend, get in here, familiarize yourself before you're with the client and kind of click around. If you want to customize the advanced options, you can go and, again, change from monthly to annual premiums. You can choose your premium duration. So if you want to go to age 65 or choose a specific age to pay, you can illustrate what that looks like. And then your death benefit options, of course. We start application from here. You're going to put in your agent information, agent code, in person or virtual. Inputs all the client's personal information for us in this demo. And again, I can send you guys this too. So if you want to click around and practice, you can do that. Does the client consent to do electronic business? We're just putting the basic client information here. We're going to save the client information. We go right into the health information. Of course, this is a super, healthy client. We don't have anything to worry about. Hopefully, we all have those clients. And we just go through and answer all the questions. Save the health information. We go right into the lifestyle questions. Again, same thing here, very healthy. Nothing to worry about with this client. Save the lifestyle questions. It's going to ask us, do we want to do the signature process via email or text message because this is a virtual sale. Let's choose text message, accept the terms and conditions, agree, and we send documents to the client. Client's going to, again, get that text message. They're going to read back to you over the phone or virtually that 6-digit PIN. You input that into the application on your end. This is what it looks like. And then you're just going to hit agree and sign client documents. You do your agent commission disclosure, right? And then you sign and submit. It's going to check if this client's going to get approved, and then bam, client, congratulations, you've been approved. Again, that's the medical approval. That's already out of the way. All we have to do now is lock in coverage, put in beneficiary and banking info, one more signature process at the end, and we're done. Again, you just click through and make sure that this is what they want to move forward with, and then we're going to confirm coverage once you figure out the illustration. It's going to ask us for purpose of insurance. We're going to save that. Oh, and we go right into the beneficiary information. We're going to assign the benefits. And then this is something I want to pause real quick and mention too. I know I've heard feedback on this already, but I want to be upfront about it. When you submit this policy, we are drafting premium upon submission. Okay, so when you submit the app, we're going to draft the first premium. Recurring payments can be selected. So you can go in and choose, okay, I want to do it on the 4th for recurring and save that. But we're going to, we're going to draft the first premium today, and then recurring is going to follow up from there, with whatever date you guys select. You save the payment details, make sure all of their mailing and contact information is 100% accurate. We're going to put in the banking info, continue and sign as the agent. Again, you're clicking just in that box there. It inputs the signature for you, and then you're going to continue to send the documents to the applicant to sign. Let's choose text message again. And they're going to again read back that new 6-digit code that they get via text message. You're going to input it into the app here, and then you're going to confirm and sign documents for the clients. It's going to finish up the app and submit it officially. And again, from here you can download that PDF. That's that policy promise. It outlines all the details of what the client's signing up for. It looks very professional from Transamerica. You can email that to them right away so they have a copy or print it out and give it to them. Wow, I cruised through that pretty quick, guys. I think that's all I've got for you with that product. Let me take this off share real quick. And then I don't know if there's any questions in the chat. We can go ahead and answer any questions, or if you guys want to take yourselves off mute, you're welcome to do the same.
Hey Scott, this is Joe. I have a question.
Hey Joe, how you doing?
Good. I noticed where you said, like for instance, if they want to pay up to age 65, okay, at that point, that means that application, whatever the amount is, it'll stay there. That's all they're gonna get.
The face amount, or what amount? What do you amount are you talking about?
I think. What am I trying to say? When you stop at age 65,
Uh-huh.
you don't have to pay anymore. But the
Yeah,
policy,
yeah, exactly. That's what it's illustrating, right? So you can structure it to illustrate, say, like you have a client who's in their 30s or 40s and they figure, I just want to pay to age 65, and then I figure I'll try to retire at 65, so I want to not have any life insurance premiums to pay when I'm in retirement. So you can illustrate it to show premiums, what it would take to basically illustrate out to age 65, and then do no more premiums beyond that. And you can see how the policy will run out, how it projects to run out from there.
okay, so I guess what I'm asking, once they stop paying, the policy will still be enforced.
Absolutely. Yeah, because the idea there is that when you're illustrating that,
Mm-hmm.
it's building up enough cash value
Mm-hmm.
to run the policy to age 121 still.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's gonna have it should, when it's illustrating, it's figuring out what the premium is to run it out to age 120, 121,
Mm-hmm.
and support, any of the fees. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. One of the cool things I forgot to mention about this, this product that's unique to, as far as I know, to any other IUL out there. We actually cut off COI charges, cost of insurance charges after age 95, which, when you're illustrating, COIs, you can imagine, grow exponentially as you get older, right? So the risk of passing away gets exponentially higher as the older you get. Those COIs are a big reason why a lot of people are afraid to get an IUL, right? Because they're afraid that the policy is going to implode in the future. There's not going to be enough cash value to support it because those COIs are taking away from that cash value. Now, again, what's unique about us and what helps us, I think, solidify these policies and not run into that issue is that there's no COIs after age 95. So that's going to cut down on those costs drastically and help those, policies kind of stick around and clients won't need to hopefully put any more money into them, later in life.
Okay, I just got one more question. The
Yeah.
grading, is that the same as if we were dealing with a final expense, 2-year wait?
No, yeah. So that's what I want to clarify for you guys. So um, graded is going to be something very different than what you're used to for final expense. So don't when you see graded for this product, don't think of the final expense death benefit graded. Graded for this product that is a death benefit option that is going to start out as increasing death benefit. It starts out as an increasing death benefit, and then at age 70, it turns to a level death benefit. And and it does it automatically so the client doesn't have to call in and do it. The whole reason for that is again to kind of reduce the cost of the policy later in life when you imagine a client's on more of a fixed income. Um, it allows that policy to kind of stay a little bit more structured and sound so that they don't have to hopefully put more money into the policy later on in life. So again, it starts out as an increasing death benefit option to age 70 and then goes to a level death benefit automatically.
Scott, this is Althea. I have a question regarding the living benefits. I came on the call. This is the first time I've been on this call for the IUL. I came on late today, pardon me. But are the policies, do they include living benefits, chronic, critical, terminal, and loss of ADLs?
Yeah, critical, chronic, terminal. Those are
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. Critical, chronic, and terminal are built into the product. No extra costs. They're built in. The client gets that. The Everest rider is the only other living benefits that the client can get, and that's only available for face amounts of 250,000 or more. Those are all the
Okay.
living benefits.
And one other question regarding that, is the policy able to be issued if an individual may not qualify for the living benefits, but they can get the coverage
There are,
overall?
yeah, there are situations where that could happen, where a client might not qualify for maybe specifically a chronic illness rider.
Right.
The app will say that. Unfortunately, you didn't qualify for this rider, but you can still get coverage with us with these other riders. That can
Oh,
certainly happen. Hmm.
okay. Thank you. I just needed that. Thank you.
Yeah. Hmm. Okay. There's a question about payer. If the payer dies while the policy is in effect and it's not their not applicant. Okay, so yeah, so payer can change anytime throughout the life of the policy. So once the policy is in force, a client can go into their client portal and update the payer information at any point. So if unfortunately the payer is a partner or a sibling or something and they pass away, yeah, they can certainly go in. The client can go in, the insured can go in and update their payer information. Ryan, I'm not sure if I understand. your question about getting approved medically. Um, I'll tell you, this product, simplified issue IULs, is going to be very similar to like the Mutual Omaha IUL-E and some of the other AMAMs IUL as far as underwriting goes. Really with the IULs, because there's, it's instant underwriting, we have kind of less information than doing a fully underwritten product. It's a little tighter underwriting, right? So we're looking at clients for this product, just probably looking at standard or better, right? Standard or better would be really where now they say like table A or B, but I don't want to even like give you guys too much hope on that because I think the underwriting on these products is just a little tighter. So if you have somebody who's, you think standard or better, and I put in the chat here for you guys, a few of the links. So the first one there is the IUL Express agent guide. If you have any questions about like if you think somebody would get qualified for a specific condition, click on that agent guide, and you can go through there and see all the different conditions and see if it's something that we might take for day one. Can a client do a lump sum into the policy or max fund it? Yeah, they can absolutely max fund it. They can do lump sums while it's in force, not on initial draft. But yeah, they can certainly do that. There's flexibility in that. There are loans available, yes. And it's payout timeline, death benefit. Payout timeline and death benefit. So it varies. I'd say, this product probably a little quicker than our fully underwritten product. The Everest rider with that on there, they can get paid. I think Everest they'll advance up to 25,000 upon death. I think within like 48 hours or something like that, maybe 3 days. It's really, really quick for that. Now, as far as like Transamerica paying out, it could take anywhere from a week to, 3 weeks. Naya, about multiple sclerosis. I don't know that off the top of my head. Definitely take a look at that agent guide and see if it says it in there. I'm guessing probably not, but take a look at it.
Hey Scott, quick question.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering the first one. The second one, I had a couple there. So if the policy is set to increase, right, when we customize it for increasing, will the
Mhm.
cash value plus the death benefit be paid out to the beneficiary or just the death benefit if it's set to increasing?
Yeah, my understanding is that it's just the death benefit that's paid out upon death.
Okay, so the cash value has to be used up during
Use it
their
up
lifetime.
before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter then if we setting it to increasing or not.
So yeah, where somebody might choose an increasing death benefit option is yeah, where they're looking to actually pull the money out a lot of times later in life. So say for instance, it's a younger client and they want to start out with a smaller death benefit because they don't need a ton of coverage. They can design it to do an increasing death benefit and max fund it. And then, let's say it grows for 25 years and, they're in retirement now, they're, 65, 70, and they say, you know what? I want to pull out 10 grand to take a nice vacation, or I want to pull out, 100 grand this year or whatever. They can do that later on in life. That's where we see it like the increasing being beneficial. Otherwise, you could technically do an increasing death benefit option if a client wants to start out with a smaller death benefit, but their goal is also, to have a larger death benefit available for their client later in life. And they aren't max funding it necessarily, but they're funding it enough to continue to increase that death benefit and grow it to the, whatever number they're looking for later in life.
Got it. So we can set it to stop paying at 65. And what if they want to, draw an income from it after the age of 65? How would you set that up on that illustration?
Yeah, so the illustration, there's that customize button, and you just go in there. It asks for, it says income. And you just click that
Mhm.
drop down menu, and then you can choose the amount and year or age that you want to start pulling income. So it'll illustrate what that looks like.
Okay, okay, perfect. And final
Yeah.
question. So if a client wants to take a loan from the cash value, what is the percentage of that cash value can they take out?
It's we consider it like a wash loan. So it's like we will charge, I think like 2.25%, but then we credit back in arrears 2% to the client. It's almost like a consider like a wash loan.
Okay, and they can, is it 80%, 90% they could take out from that cash value? They can
I
pull
believe it's up to 90% on this policy.
90%. Okay. All right. And how soon, like after the first year, after the first 5 years?
Oh, don't recommend that. No, this is a life insurance policy first, and there are surrender periods, of up to 12 years on this one. So you're taking cash value out early on in the policy. I would not recommend that. There's going to be fees that come out of it, heavy fees.
Okay. Is
So
there
yeah, you're
anywhere
looking
that
at,
I
at
can see?
least
Hmm.
10 years before you want to start pulling money out of a policy like this.
Okay, so this is not the one for if you're trying to max fund the policy, then to do a lump sum and then be able to borrow from it.
Yeah, not immediately. I mean, I would probably challenge you to see if you're looking to do that, like what policies you can dump a lump sum in and not have significant fees to pull money out a year or two later. Because as far as I know, a lot of them out there have significant fees, especially within the first 5 years, which, the whole reason is to kind of prevent that, I think, in life insurance.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So I look at it like this type of strategy. When I get people that I know that they're going to want to use it right away in a year or two, then you're going to have to do a whole life participating debt elimination type of product. Um, because the surrender fees are either there or they're not there after a year or two. And then IULs kind of, I look at it as a retirement plan, truly 10 years, truly retirement, whatever the age is, hey, 10 years from now. But if you want to use something, right away to start paying down some debts, credit cards, mortgages, things like that, then we're looking at a debt elimination type of participating whole life policy with dividends in it and everything else from like a mutual based type of company that does that. So that's I mean we do that anyway as far as we go, but I'm glad you're answering all of that, so this way on YouTube they're looking at that, and yes, we have other products too for that, guys out there too, and we teach that, so yeah. Now, Scott, I've got a question. So with this product, one of the great things that you have done is that you gave us a bump in commission for us for IUL. So we actually have high IUL commissions compared, at least for us, for our IMO. Unlike some other competitors, guys, the commissions are high, but we actually get a bump up. So Scott, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know what, Bill? I don't know exactly what we bumped you up to, but I can tell you, like with the IULs, we pay off target, right? And our target premium on this product is very competitive. Looking at, like, I saw an example earlier today of us compared to Mutual Omaha and AmAm, and we were close to like $1,000 more annually. For you guys, what that means is that's more money in your pockets. Plus, yeah, our commissions, historically and generally are very competitive, on on our final expense express product. It should be one of your highest, if not the highest paid final expense. Again, Bill, they're working on actually making even more improvements to the comp grids on this product already. So more to come on that. But yeah, as far as commission goes, it should be very, very competitive for you guys.
That's awesome. It's so okay. So in the next year, you have like an instant issue term product that's going to come out probably on the same chassis that you have here now.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, we're looking to launch that simplified issue term in Q1 of 2026. Yep, it's going to be on that same platform as this product and the Final Expense Express. It allows us to do things lightning quick, and from what I hear, our rates on that product are going to be very competitive. We've always been competitive in term. I think that's kind of been our bread and butter and our backbone for a long, long time on the fully underwritten side. But yeah, I'm excited for that product to come, and as we get close to that launch date, we'll definitely circle back and do some trainings on that as well.
So this is great. So you're going to have a great portfolio of products for people who might be tier eight as far as health conditions go, guys. I mean, for final expense up to 50K, depending on the age. Then you also have two IUL products. One, if they're in really good health, they can get Express. But if not, got some more questions to look more in debt and underwriting, then they can go the manual way. Is that comes down to everything?
Absolutely. Yeah. Full product portfolio for you guys. So really, if you have, it's going to be a one-stop shop. I mean, if you have a client looking for anything when it comes to related to life insurance, I think we'll have an option for them, especially come Q1 of next year.
Do you think that this is the way that these insurance companies are moving forward? Is like basically, if you guys don't really know AI, this is the time. I mean, you're hearing about it all the time, guys. And look at this, guys. Look at the underwriting. This is AI. All this stuff, that you're seeing right now, all these enhancements, the Final Express, you know, the instant issue IUL, instant decision. It's moving into AI, guys. And this is why I'm telling you guys all the time, we got to learn AI. This is why I always preach it. This is why we have a lot of trainings, and we're going to be doing trainings on Saturday about social media, AI, and using these instant decision products out here, regardless if it's final expense or IUL or debt elimination, to really understand these products and how to get these instant decisions. Because this is what's new. If you guys don't learn this now, you're gonna be caught in the past. I'm used to doing paper wrap IULs. That's a thing of the past. I don't even, they probably don't even have them anymore in back office.
We
It's
certainly, as a carrier, do not like them anymore. That's for sure. Yeah.
yeah. It's funny because as soon as you turn on TV or Instagram or social media, everyone's talking about AI, courses. You got Tony Robbins out there now doing a bunch of stuff for AI. You guys see this, it's the new marketing, the new wave, and it's for you guys to, in your benefit, to use these products, use a tablet or something, and write instant issue, final expense, instant issue, IUL with Transamerica, and get all that information because clients are getting text messages now, emails. This is just a new way things are going. So it's kind of like you got to get in the game now. You got to learn this. You got to get great contracts too. There's no agency agreement here, so you guys don't have to get stuck into some type of bad management or they're trying to term you for something. The good thing is that you guys will learn that type of tech. We always do a lot of videos on it, and walk you guys through it. And Scott has a team too that does a lot of great one-on-one with Chris, and Jason. They do a lot of work with us guys, and they can always, work with you guys as well. So I really appreciate this, Scott, too, because it was needed. I don't know if we have any other questions. Anybody else has any other questions about anything?
Hey, Bill, I have one more question.
Go ahead.
So I submitted an application for a client, 59, female. She didn't disclose any medical issues or history. However, she was declined for the Express. And the decision came back due to medical history received from a third party. It didn't say if it was a hard decline or a soft decline. What should I do in a situation like this?
Lisa, I'm assuming this was the Final Expense Express, right?
The final express, no, it was the IUL.
You submitted it on the IUL.
Yeah.
Huh, and you didn't get a
And it
soft,
was
it
only
didn't,
for 50, it was only for 50,000. And again, she didn't disclose any medical issues. No, she answered no to all of the questions, and it came back as a decline.
interesting. Yeah, and that's kind of the tough part with these simplified issue apps now is, we're pulling so much fast data, nothing's sneaking past a carrier, right? And unfortunately, when a client doesn't disclose something to you, it leaves you in the middle going, what are you not telling me? because something came up on their medical records, right? And that's that. Now we're working on trying to get an update to share more information on what exactly was the cause for it. It's tough though when we're working with things like Milliman is the third party that is talking about in that reference notice. And Milliman, it's basically creating a health score for a client. So if they don't get up or if they're below a certain number, they can get approved. If they're in this gap, then, for final expense, they can get graded. If they're beyond that number, then they're declined. But we don't get, unfortunately, like all of the details to share out to you right now. So they're working on getting an update to be able to be more transparent with that. Now, a client can always request, their Milliman score or Milliman report rather, which will explain everything to them on what was not disclosed and what was in their medical records. For something like this, since it's so new, I think, Lisa, if you could do me a favor and shoot me like a text or an email, if you got my contact information in the chat with the client name and I don't know if you got a policy number yet or not, but probably just a client name and just say, hey, can you look into this decline? Because this IUL is so new, I want to see if I can have a manager from underwriting take a look at it at least and see if they can, share with us, a little bit more information on what it was.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Okay, you bet.
And I just want to say thank you so much, Scott, too, because that's what I want us brokers to see who are with us, that they don't have to go to their upline, they don't have to go through this hyper agency or write all this stuff. And we get support directly, guys, from Scott and his team, and work on cases. And a lot of you guys, especially out there in the YouTube world, you don't get any of that. You got to talk to your upline, call just general broker services and see whatever answer. Guys, we have a team here, and that's big, and while we're teaching you a lot of the AI stuff, at least you have a team you can go to and get support, because it's about support too. We're helping our clients, but we also need the support, of Transamerica, and that's something that is needed, that's not being given out here to a lot of us brokers. So guys, you can have your support. You have everything here. You have a portfolio full of products. We have a lead system, for live transfer life insurance leads. We have that. We show those on Saturdays, guys. We'll show a little opportunity video of it coming up this Saturday, so you guys will be able to take a look at it. But yeah, join. Please subscribe. Click on the link. Don't miss another email, anything, guys. We come out with these videos all the time, where carriers are working directly with us, and you guys, will be full brokers, without agency agreements and people trying to steal your commissions or, terminate you to, just to get some extra overrides. We don't do those games here, but if you burnt out or somebody that's been burnt out in the industry, a great place to be is right here. Got great products. And Scott's been doing this for years for us, and he's been great, him and his team. So I just want to thank you, Scott. It's been awesome always working with you, always right on time, and appreciate that. And, anybody else feel free. Anything else you want to say, Scott, before we sign off?
No, Bill, I just want to say thank you for the partnership. I know you guys have been amazing partners to us for a long time as well. It goes both ways, right? We're all in this together and looking to help each other out. So, yeah, if you guys have anything I can help you out with in the future, and my team can help you out with in the future, please don't hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for. And, we have a great relationship with Bill, and we want to continue that. He's got an amazing team. And again, yeah, utilize us and lean on us as much as you need.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, guys. Take
Awesome.
care.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.